Hey, Pawn family, what's up? It's Yigal, and coming back at you with another very, very important message. I think today's message is probably one of the most important ones that I've done live, and I hope that you join us through this because I think it's crucial. When I started in the pawn business, I don't know, 20 years ago, maybe more, 30 years ago, actually, working for my dad's store, it was about making money. And one of the things that my father taught me was empathy, right? To really care about the customer and know what they're going through because they need money and they need your services, and just not to be an ass, right? To always be kind to the customer. And then today on my drive over here, I was listening to PBS. It was on for some reason. I usually listen to like a podcast or an audiobook on the way over here, but I heard something that I think I was meant to hear. It was an interview with a school teacher who had moved from, I think it was like Delaware to North Carolina or something, was in between jobs. And because they were in between jobs, she couldn't get unemployment. She was talking about how she had to miss a rent payment, how she had to make a payment, like a payment plan with the electricity bill. She had to cut off her cell phone. She had to stop eating out. I mean, just so many things that she was talking about. And all I could think about was like, man, if she had something to pawn, if she had something to pawn. But truthfully, she probably doesn't even know that you exist. Most of your community probably doesn't even know that you exist or forget that you exist. And you talk about things like SEO and Google and things like that. People have to like write pawn shop into Google to find you. On the other hand, if you do things around your community and if you spread the word around your community that you're there to help the community, if you make a Facebook video that people can share to show your true kindness and how you care about people, maybe that person will find you. That person who's in between jobs, is making no unemployment, has two kids at home, has to shut off the phone, the gas, has to make payments, might get, they might have gotten an eviction notice from where they're living. What I'm trying to say is we cannot stay quiet when people need our service. And the moment that you think that you're communicating, that you're out there, I need you to 10x that, as Grant Cardone says, if you know who that is. Because can you imagine that lady who had no unemployment, no money coming in, had to cut off her phone, got an eviction notice, was barely eating whatever she was eating, but had that gold chain. But she just didn't think about going to a pawn shop. It's not her fault. It's our fault as the pawn industry for not getting the word out there in our communities. It's also our fault for expecting for people to know about us just because we do a Facebook video or whatever that is. A pawnbroker in the mastermind said that he's doing ads all over the buses in his towns and billboards, and where people are like, why are you going to spend money? This is the time to let people that know that you exist. But not just to make money, ladies and gentlemen, but to help your community, to help the people that actually need your help. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. When we think about money, just making money, we think like a pinhole, making money, it's the bank account. When you think about making a difference, and when you think with empathy, when you think on a broader scale, you'll get more people to come into your store. How do we find that next person who needs our help? How do we find that next person who, is a family who's got 3 kids, has no money coming in, and just needs $200 to get by? How do we find them? How do we reach out to them? How do we help them, give them a helping hand instead of saying, how do I make interest off of them? How do I grow my loan balance off of them? If you think the other way with helping your community, with serving your community, your loan balance will grow. But if you stay hunkered down like a hermit in your store, you cannot help those people. We opened up pawn shops to make money. And then I realized by servicing clients, thousands and thousands of clients, millions and millions of dollars in pawns given, that when you care about your customer, like truly care about what they're going through, they feel it and they sense it. And when they sense it, they tell their friends and their family about you. And that's the best type of marketing ever. But if you're just looking how to pad your pocket, which isn't a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen, let me be clear. I'm all about capitalism and making money. But if it's all you think about, then you will not grow the way you want to grow. Because just like that woman was interviewed on PBS radio, that she has no money, she could have had $100, $200, $300 in her pocket because she went into your store and got a loan. And just like her, there are thousands and thousands of people. It's actually funny. Let me show, let me see if you guys can see this. I don't know if it's going to work on the software that I'm using, but I'm going to try anyway. So I'm part of a group called East Lake Support. East Lake is the area that I live in. This group has 17,000 people, right? And they did a questionnaire, a survey on Facebook, and it says, the admins wish to sustain our support of our city. Please let us know what our greatest needs are at this stage of COVID-19. Okay. This was done about a month ago. Emotional support came out as number one. Okay. Number one. Now, the other choices, employment, there's a bunch of, but number two, ladies and gentlemen, number two that people surveyed in was financial aid and resources of getting money. I'm going to say this again. Number one was emotional support. Number two was financial aid and resources. So when people tell me that, people have way too much money, they don't want to get loans right now, I wish I could bleep myself out because that's a bunch of baloney. You're just not making the effort to find the people who need you, who are going to walk into your store, put their gold chain down and get $250 because that's going to get them to the next month. You're not making the effort because we're used to, as pawnbrokers, sitting there waiting for people to come in, hoping that we did a Facebook post that people are going to come in. But the truth is that you need to be proactive. First, you got to build that team so you can go be proactive and strategize as an owner, as a leader of the business, as the manager, whoever you are in the business. But ladies and gentlemen, 79 people voted on this thing. 79 people. And this was as of, I think I screenshot this like 2 weeks ago. 79 people voted. That's 79 people in my community here in Chula Vista, in the East Lake area, so there's Chula Vista, which is like a city, and then East Lake, which is like the area of Chula Vista. People need your help. And it's selfish of us to sit there, to not make the effort to help them. And I know that you're busy, but can you imagine? I mean, it makes me emotional. Holy crap. Can you imagine that single mother with 2 or 3 kids who was between jobs when all of this happened and isn't making unemployment? Their kids are not going to school. Their kids are not getting food from school. For us to sit here and say that people don't need we can't find people who need our service. Ladies and gentlemen, get a freaking megaphone and go out there and make noise. The world is so noisy that just by doing a Facebook post or throwing something up quickly is not going to get anybody's attention. You've got to be consistent at it. Expecting people to go to a search engine and put in pawn shop, pawnbroker, pawn my ring. It's a great resource. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about Google. I'm all about Facebook. I'm all about this marketing, but there's a lot more to it that we need to do to let people know that we exist. To catch someone's eye and attention and say, man, I didn't even think about going to a pawn shop to bring in my gold, my lawnmower, my diamond, whatever that is. So how do we make noise? We make noise by what's called a pattern interrupt, by interrupting a person's day-to-day. And that's by making a video on Facebook that's different than all others. That's by going out to the street corner and maybe doing the sign again because you've got people driving by. Maybe that's going out and building a food bank at your store for one day and feeding 300 people and having the community help out. Maybe that's by, somebody did this in the Facebook community that they brought an ice cream truck to the front of their store and they had hundreds of people in line. Do good for the community so that the community looks out for you. Think outside the box. And if you think outside the box consistently, you will crush it. I'll leave you with that because in about 15 minutes, we've got Drew Manning coming on the mastermind to talk about health. It's so important. I'm a true believer in the healthier you are, the more money you make. Hands down. So with that said, let me know what ideas you come up with in the comments. Let me know if you do anything, reach out to me. And we talk about these things in the Boost Your Pawn Balance course and the mastermind and everything that I teach. We talk about like how to think outside of the box, how to build a team so you can think outside the box. Because most of you are probably overwhelmed with doing everything yourself. So with that, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you all. Hope you enjoyed this message. Let me know if you did in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys soon.